Hey everyone, this week at USF 2000, we are at Watkins Glen. This is the cup version of the circuit. So I think previous season in season three of 2020, we had the boot, which is the full track. So this version, the cup version, is the shorter version and it sort of bypasses that boot section. So this means this lap is much quicker. So I was able to get a lap time of 1 minute 12 seconds and 12 and a half seconds. So far in this practice, so far I'm the quickest here, but I'm sure there will be somebody who's quicker than me. But let me show you around how I do a lap. So first, let's go through a very quick hot lap, and then we can sort of talk through each of those corners. So into the first corner, you have a very wide runoff area. You might want to take advantage of that because you do gain a bit of time, and then you have a very fast right sweeper, and then a very fast left sweeper. And this sort of reminds me of Belgium Spa-Francorchamps, the Eau Rouge corner, but this is sort of like the American version. And then you have a very quick chicane, a right, a left, and then a right left. So two double chicanes, or two chicanes, a double chicane. And then you have a right long sweeper, it's a constant radius turn, and then another straight, not as long as the initial one, but it's still a pretty long one. And then a very fast left sweeper that's banked on the inside, and then a right-hander banker as well that leads you to the home straight. So let's take you through each corner step by step and let's see what I've been doing here. So what you have here is at the 150 mark. And sometimes if I'm really ambitious, I might even break at the 125. But I would say aim for the 150 and then you'll be good. Brake hard. You want to shift down 3 times from top gear into gear 3. And then you just let the car rotate, but if you run wide, that's totally fine. And I'm going back and forth. I'm trying to find that spot where you turn in. And I turn in here, and you could turn in a little bit later if you want, but because there is no penalty for using that runoff area, I would advise you just to use it. So there's probably too much speed loss in turning in late and taking a sharper corner. So I would just say cut in pretty early, and just use the runoff area. You do want to avoid this right hand side curve. It is quite high. I don't know if you can sort of see it from this angle, but perhaps if I switch to this angle, you can see this rise. This unsettles the car quite a bit, so you want to avoid that. So let's keep going. So we run off, use the area as much as you can, but make sure you get back onto the track before you hit the grass. There's this nasty dip here that damages your floor or sometimes your wing, but and then you also get an off track as well. And one more thing before I forget, you either want to stay on track fully on the right hand side here, or you want to just run past this curbing and onto this runoff area here and then go back in through here. Because if you're riding in the middle on that curb, this car is so low that it's gonna basically do a little skateboard action. So what ends up happening is your wheels are off the ground and you lose traction there for a lot of time, as well as all the friction. So you're gonna hear that nasty grind of the floor if you go down that curb. So watch out for that. So you come back, and then you get this right-hander sweeper. You're fully flat through here, fully flat through the left here. It's very, very simple. And all of this is just concentrating on your line and upshifting correctly. There's a DRS sign. There's not actually DRS. So in here, I'm going to pause here. So as you come up to the first of the 2 chicanes, you want to look ahead. And you need to think about, I need to pivot, rotate the car right, and then very quickly left. So because of that, I actually want to finish my braking in a straight line before that second rotation, right? You don't want to brake into a corner too late and not be able to rotate the car because you're going too fast rotating right. You need to be able to swing back to the left really quickly. So I try to swing the car to the right in a line where I'm straight lining the chicane around the 150 mark. I'm swinging in here and I'm braking in a line that's cutting the chicane onto the curb, and then I let go of the brake. I let the car rotate to the right to the point where I'm perfectly straight, and then now I start actually turning left already. And I actually turn left quite a bit because I anticipate the car will slide, and as I continue to slide, I've actually not hit any throttle or any gas. You notice in this part here, I'm just going to play it back one more time, and in full speed I brake, and then I just neutral, and then I hit the gas as I rotate. Keep the steering wheel lock on the left, because this car understeers quite a bit. So as soon as I rotate, not rotate, I can stop saying that. As soon as I steer left, the car is not responding. I am understeering like mad through this corner. So I'm going to do that. So if you sort of time it right, you will be able to understeer through this corner right here, catch it by here, hit the gas so that you can shift the weight back, so that you can actually get the grip back and your front tires are not overloaded anymore, and accelerate out. Cut the little curve here, but not too much. It's super bumpy, and then you're onto this really long constant radius corner. Now this long constant radius corner is tricky because you can lose a lot of time here. I just lift. I know some people try to take a wider line, brake, and then come back in. I've seen that work, but my personal take is that I just lift, let the car sort of tuck in the nose, and just fully gas back out. I personally also think that's a safer thing to do if you're racing somebody, because if you try to do the wide and cut back in, it's just so easy to make contact with somebody, or if somebody tries to stick their nose in there, you lost a position. So it's a straight here. This turn looks tight, but it's not really, because you actually get a banked inside of the corner. So at about the 175 mark, you turn in much earlier than you think you need to, and you tap a little bit of the brake and you gas out. And this one I ran a little bit wide, but just enough to stay on the throttle as long as possible, and come back here, and then you tap a little bit of the brakes to rotate the car. You try to aim for this section of the tarmac. That's the end of the session, P1. Okay, so you sort of aim for this little triangle of asphalt here. Aim for that. Make sure the nose is tucked in inside that triangle, like in here, and then you hit the gas, and you can actually rotate out and not hit the wall. You want to make sure that you're fully in that triangle before you hit the gas. Otherwise, you can understeer into this wall, that black wall ahead. Because if you look at the banking of the corner, if you're off slightly here, you actually lose so much more grip. In fact, sometimes if you're really aggressive, you can actually cheat a little and put the front right wheel right onto the grass, and it actually helps to rotate the car. So if you find that, hey, you have too much speed kind of coming in, and you can actually just take a tighter line and just cut the grass a tiny bit and rotate the car. But or you can just tap the brakes a little bit more early on. But sometimes you're already on the gas, you just want to be able to full throttle out. That's totally fine. So, and there it is. It's a very quick lap. I hope that helps you. And it seems like our time is staying as the top of the timesheet. So I'm glad for that, and I guess that means I'll be probably competitive over this week. So there you have it. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video or found this useful, please give me a thumbs up And if you haven't already, please subscribe and you'll see more of this. Thanks so much.